Hi, this is Maria from mariairving.com, and in this video I want to talk about values and identity and happiness and how they are connected. So values are essential and we all have them even if we are not aware of them. We are always acting in accordance to what is important to us, what we value. So values are the foundation for making decisions that align with who you truly are. It's what matters most to us. And they guide our actions, choices, all our interactions, and everything. Like whether we're aware of it or not, it's like we're constantly acting in alignment with what is most important to us. But many times this happens unconsciously because we don't have clarity around what those values actually are. So values are like an internal compass. They reflect who you are, what you care about, and what you truly value. And when you're clear on the values, then your decisions start to reflect those things. And the more true you are to yourself, the more they reflect the true you. And you stop living according to other people's expectations and what they want and all that, and you begin to make choices that resonate with your inner truth. And that clarity then that helps you to only let in energy and people and situations and everything into your life that actually aligns with you and where you share similar values and things like that, because friction comes from either the hierarchy of values is off or you just don't have the same values. But when you are in alignment and when you do share similar values and you're aware of them, then you build and create real honest relationships, and your work is fulfilling and you attract opportunities and situations into your life that reflect those things, that kind of vibration. So, but there can be a mismatch, For example, if you say that family is the most important thing to you, but if your actions show otherwise, like you're constantly working, like overtime, instead of spending time with your who you say are your loved ones, then you're not living in alignment with that, with your values. Because our actions always speaks louder than words, and they show us where our priorities are and where our actual values is. So values show up in everything we do. For example, another example, if peace is one of your core values, you want a peaceful, wonderful life, But if you allow drama, toxic relationships, all this emotional discord and all that into your life, then there is a disconnect. So when we take the time to evaluate, like what do I need? What are my needs and wants in life, in relationships, in work, in connections with others, and in every area of life? And you start to make decisions that are in alignment with those, what you realize about yourself, then life starts to flow more easily. It's just the way it is, because we're always in alignment with something, and this is so important to remember. We're always in alignment with something. But once we start to be in alignment with what we want and what is important to us, what we value, then we begin to attract the right people and situations and opportunities into our life that match who we truly are and what we truly value. But for as long as there is a disconnect between your values and your actions and your behaviors and all that, then you will experience struggle. There's going to be tension, there's going to be friction, and just struggle, So values are really important to clarify, and so are deal breakers. Because it's not only about what we want, it's also about what you don't want. So having like deal breakers, non-negotiables are just as important. Like, I am not available for this. I don't accept this kind of energy into my life. I don't want this, and I do want this. This is important to me. All this is helping you to build a life that is actually authentic and true. So clarity around your values is really important. It helps you with the direction you're going. It helps you set boundaries, to create honest, meaningful connections and things in your life with the right people, right situations, and all that. So it's really important. So, and also living in an intentional way in life is also comes down to our identity, what we identify ourselves as, and living in an embodied way through our values and our identity. Like, for example, as soon as you get clear on an identity, everything we say after I am is what we say we are, and we become that. We conform to that. And it's always like that. It's not something like we're always living in alignment with whatever we say after I am. And if it's like in our internally we believe that, we become it. And that's how we then live our life. And we already do this. We're always speaking about ourselves in a certain way or living in a certain way, like out of alignment or not, and clear on values or not. So I want to invite you to see if you can get a little bit more clarity on who you are and how you want to live, if you feel like you are not really in alignment with yourself and the life that you live and the life you say you want to live. So, and I love powerful questions. I love them. So here is one that is really, I love this question. It reveals to us our true values, because we might say one thing, but then do a different thing in reality. So here's the question. If someone followed you around for a week, what would they say about your life? What would they say that your life is about? Just notice what comes up when you ask that. If someone followed you around for a week, what would they say? Like, what would they say that your life is about? And then ask yourself, what kind of life am I living? And what kind of life do I want to live? Because we all have like a tone to our life, a certain vibe. So what's yours? Whatever that vibe is, it's like a quiet mission statement that there's like, it's always with you, and it shapes how you move through life and in the world. But when we choose this statement for ourselves, when we do it consciously and in alignment with our values, then we begin to conform to that statement and we begin to live it. So it's a way to frame your lifestyle around your values and your identity, and then drawing strength and empowerment from those priorities. So, for example, if someone wants to live a healthy life, then you could frame your identity and your values statement like this. I live a peace-first, health-centered lifestyle, for example. And that means that you prioritize your well-being, you protect your peace, and you choose habits that nourishes you. Like Oprah, for example, I heard her say that I live a God-surrendered life. And that tells you that that's how she moves through lives. Like, she's spiritually guided and rooted in faith and trust and alignment. And other people might say, I live a soul-led, creatively expressed life, and that tells you that that person is guided by their intuition and a deep connection to their true self-expression in everything that they do. Or here's another one. I live an athletic, strength-centered life. And this tells you that this person is focused on like pushing physical boundaries and staying active and so on and so forth. So even if this is not how you currently live your life, you could choose a statement like this if it's in alignment with your values, if it speaks to you, if it feels like something like, yeah, I want to live that kind of life, I want to be guided by this principle. Then when you start speaking about yourself in that way, like, this is me, I live in an blah 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 kind of life, then you start identifying as that kind of person, and then you become that person. So it's about living with purpose and with intention, about choosing how we, choose to show up in life and what we align with when it comes to our values and everything. And always remember also, like, our point of power is always now. So whatever you have lived in the past, it doesn't matter, because every moment we can claim that power and put our life on a whole new trajectory, no matter what happened yesterday or last week or when you were a child or whatever. Life can begin anew right now if we choose to. We can choose our identity and values right now and then start living in alignment with those things. So here are a few questions. As I mentioned to you before, I love questions. They are so powerful. So here are a few that you can just ponder today and see what happens, like what clarity you get from them. So what do I value most right now in my life? What do I consistently prioritize, whether I'm aware of it or not, like intentionally or not? What am I consistently prioritizing? How do I want to feel when I wake up each day? What habits or rituals or things that I do every day, how are they shaping my days? What am I saying yes to? And what do I need to start saying no to? Like, where am I giving too much or doing too much? And what do I need to do less of or just stop doing or just saying no to? And whose version of life am I living? Is it mine or someone else's? Am I living according to other people's expectations, or is this actually my life? Are these my values that I'm living in alignment with? What do I want my life to stand for? If I could name the life I want in one single sentence, what would it be? Or even 3 words. What would that sentence be, or those 3 words be, that describes the life that you want to live? So it's so important to have clarity on these things for ourselves, because when we start to describe ourselves the way we want to be, or speak about the life that we want to live, then we also begin to manifest that kind of life. And remember that our point of power is always now, no matter what has happened in the past. Right now, you can choose your values, you can choose the identity by choosing the things you say after I am, and your life will change. And alignment is always having alignment with the truth of who you are and your flow in life. That's the key to happiness. That's the key to freedom, great relationships, and everything else that you would ever want from life. So have a look at that today, and hope this was helpful, and I see you in the next video.